The chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party says the state's February 3rd Democratic presidential primary will still be the first in the nation.
This comes after New Hampshire announced its contest will be 11 days earlier on January 23rd. State House reporter Mary Green has more after talking to party leadership.
South Carolina Democratic Party Chair Crystal Spain was succinct when she told me what the announcement of New Hampshire's Democratic primary date will mean for South Carolina's. Nothing.
South Carolina's first.
Spain says signs like these aren't going anywhere because this is a contest about awarding delegates to win the party's nomination, which South Carolina will be the first to do.
New Hampshire is holding a straw poll, right, without all the straws.
President Joe Biden is skipping New Hampshire's contest, refusing to file for his name to appear on the primary ballot, and the DNC has threatened to strip the state of its delegates if it jumps the calendar.
That's one of those things where the DNC needs to be cautious. What's important in terms of an election that we think is going to be close, New Hampshire is a potential swing state, so if you punish the Democratic Party there too heavily, then it kind of what happens in the general election? They just say, well, we're going to stay home or we're not going to be as supportive.
New Hampshire leaders argue they're bound by their state constitution, which requires the Granite State hold the nation's first presidential primary.
It is more how New Hampshire feels about themselves than anything to do with the Democratic Party. This would probably be a lot bigger story, have a lot more importance to it if we thought there would be a competitive election on the Democratic side.
But New Hampshire's leapfrogging defies the new calendar the DNC set for 2024, putting South Carolina first at President Biden's request. Spain says that's still significant.
South Carolina being first is important to the Democratic Party because it's just the first time in the history of our party, that black voters get to go first. Southern voters get to go first, rural voters get to go first.
And we're now less than 80 days out from South Carolina's Democratic primary. 3 candidates will be on the ballot here: President Joe Biden, Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips, and Marianne Williamson. Reporting Columbia, I'm Mary Green.
South Carolina Republicans, meanwhile, will hold their presidential primary February 24th. For the GOP's calendar, South Carolina retains its traditional spot as the first in the South.